Hello. This week's story for Season of the Wish was quite interesting in that we got the twist that only one person can go through the portal to follow the witness whenever Riven grants Savathun's wish. And throughout the whole dialogue, I assumed that it would be us going through as the first person, basically. And then once we're on the other side, Osiris explains, which is what he's doing now in the background, that once somebody's on the other side of the door, we can then, or that person can then open the door. So my assumption was we would go through the portal following the witness at the start of the expansion final shape, and then we would open the door and then everyone would come through. So everyone can come through the portal. That's what Osiris basically explains, and I was assuming it was us that would be doing it, the Guardian. Well, after Osiris finishes his spiel here, the text summary of what he says it's a pretty good summary of what he says, but it also mentions that we will follow Crow through the portal. That doesn't make any sense, because Crow is still in hell. There's been no mention of Crow this week at all. He has not went through the portal or anything. The rest of the text actually still says it's this week, that we still have one egg left to get, and it very much seems planted in this week. But there's one paragraph about Crow going through the portal, and I don't know what to think of this. Right off the bat, you think, right, Crow must be going through the portal in one of the following weeks, and he opens the door, per se, for us to come through. But that just doesn't really make sense, because it only makes sense for the Guardian to go through. The exact text is, as we see here, I will pause it. Many long weeks of constant research have paid off. Osiris believes there is a way to follow Crow through the portal and urges us to keep going. This doesn't make sense, because it implies that Crow has went through the portal somehow. We don't know how he's went through the portal, and Osiris believes we should keep going in order to follow him. This has not happened. The way Osiris has explained this week in that Holoprojector thing is that one person can go through, and it can only happen when Riven grants the wish, and then the person on the other side opens the door for everyone else to flow through. So it doesn't make sense that we would try to follow Crow. So I don't know what this is about. It does lead me to believe, because this is even here, that Crow will be the one to go through the portal. Perhaps he will be on the other side at the end of the season, then there'll be a week or two, and then the expansion will launch. But it would only make sense to me, like strategy-wise, why would Crow go through? What sense would that make? The Guardian has killed gods, and the person we're going to send through is Crow. Not that Crow is ill-equipped, but it's just on paper, the Guardian is the best equipped to go through the portal. That is the best chance. So the mention of Crow just doesn't make sense to me. But this, I don't know how this slipped in. It clearly is meant to be here. Like, the wrong text hasn't shown up, because it also describes what Osiris said. When the witness entered the Traveller, it did so by redirecting the Traveller's own power against itself while using the veil. He believes he can put the veil to a similar, if less destructive use. And then we need Riven to do it, basically, so as we can get somebody to the other side. And then, once they're on the other side, we can open the door. That's what he says. But then there's this paragraph, and then it says what he said, basically. This is an excerpt from what he said, and then just for now, what I think remains. So perhaps the original plan for the season was that Crow would have went through somehow and we're trying to follow him. But at this point, it has not happened. So I have no idea. The question is, will Crow still go through the portal as the first person? Is this chunk of the story remaining? My theory is that this was meant to happen originally during this season, and it hasn't happened. They reworked it or something like that. Will this still happen? Will Crow be the one to go through the portal, and then he opens the door for everyone else to flood through? Obviously, the difficulty they're going to have is if they send us through during this season, the final ship is it's a brand new location we're going to go to. it doesn't really make sense to send us there in this season. I highly doubt they've prepared that much. Like, you know, this season doesn't seem to be blowing me away with the amount of content there is. I'd be thoroughly surprised if they've designed an entire, like, if they're going to take a chunk of the final ship and give it to us in the season. I would be shocked. I'd be very impressed, but I'd be shocked. So I think Crow will go through the portal. I think this will be reworked to just happen near the end of the season, and then we're going to have to wait for him to open the other side. He might be able to talk to us while he's on the other side of the Traveler, through on the other side of the portal via Mara, because they have a connection. I'm not too sure, but maybe that's why they would favour Crow, because we wouldn't be able to communicate. I'm assuming we would be completely cut off, but Crow might be able to because of his connection with Mara. But it's pure theory. I am amazed this is snuck through. Somebody clearly didn't take this chunk out of this paragraph, of this like section. But yeah, so we may well know how this season ends, but I don't think there's enough here to say for certain. So my theory is that Crow will indeed go through the portal first. I don't think it makes sense, but I think that will be what happens. And yeah, I would not have thought that unless this was here, so in a way it's a spoiler, but I mean, yeah. So I did actually just realise that if you read that entire paragraph and just exchanged Crow with the witness, it makes a lot more sense. And I just wonder if whoever typed this out accidentally typed Crow instead of the witness, which is a bit of a strange mistake to make, I have to admit. The Crow and the witness don't have many similarities. But if you read it as many long weeks of constant research have paid off, Osiris believes there is a way to follow the witness through the portal and urges us to keep going. It makes an awful lot more sense. I don't think they're sending Crow through the portal. I'd be very surprised. Anyway, well done, Bungie. You may have leaked your own season ending. Congratulations. Anyway, right, that was all. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.